Pastor Roy Gerhardt from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. These last few weeks have been so very enriching for me to look at the beginning. It's as if there were so many things that I only skimmed the surface on before that are finally coming alive. Looking at the beginning of all creation, seeing the hand of God in it, that God has created this whole world, not just to mold some model that he would spin into action and then walk away from, but everything that God has created is connected to him in some marvelous way in which the Lord continues to hold everything together. Even when we send it into some sort of broken, out of control disruption, he still holds it together, holding on to it and moving this whole world, every step of history, toward an end that he foresees and that only he can bring us to. And that in his goodness, he created us as human beings in his own image to carry on a relationship with him and with each other. I've come to understand over the last couple of weeks that not only is the marriage relationship and husband and wife iconic and emblematic of the relationship of Jesus and the church, but right from the very beginning, the relationship of Adam and Eve was a reflection of the relationship that God was opening to all of us as human beings. That when we talk about Jesus and the church being reflected in marriage, what we're gaining there is the restoring of that image, the restoration of the relationship with God that is now reminded, that we're now reminded was to be reflected in marriage. And so the restored relationship with God, being the relationship between Jesus and the church, is reflected in marriage, the way that from the very beginning, Adam and Eve reflected our relationship with God. One of love and intimacy, of innocence and purity. One in which there was peace and joy that was demonstrated in God's kind of act of coming in the cool of the day to go for a walk with Adam and Eve. It was then, sadly, that God found them having broken their covenant of trust with him, and that relationship became marred by sin. And suddenly Adam and Eve were hiding from God, hiding from each other. And this was never the way that it was meant to be. In fact, this has led to one further deep insight, and that was to look back at God's command to Adam and Eve to be fruitful and to multiply, fill the earth. My friend Claude the other day took note of the fact that we've always looked at that physically, that Adam and Eve were the first two humans and they were supposed to multiply by birthing out more children and filling the earth. And all at once it dawned on my friend that this was not just physically, but God was spiritually saying to them, be fruitful, multiply. That the multiplying of human beings was not just a matter of creating more two-legged animals and sending them forth into this world. That's what the end is when we separate ourselves from God and sin. We become a bunch of two-legged animals running around in this world, reaping destruction, serving ourselves, and looking for something better. And that better is God. What God was saying to Adam and Eve was, share this life with each other. Multiply and share it with others. And sharing this life with others would mean sharing that relationship with God, passing that along to their children. In Malachi chapter 2, verse 16, as the Lord was reprimanding his people because they were being unfaithful to him, and their unfaithfulness was being perpetrated then in turn upon each other, as husbands were abandoning the wife of their youth and instead taking up marriages with women who worshiped other gods. So the Lord said, you're unfaithful to me and you're exercising unfaithfulness to each other. And he said, this just doesn't sit right with me at all. And so the Lord was reprimanding them, and he said that body and soul, we belong to the Lord because he created us. And it reminds us, what was the Lord seeking in all of this? Godly offspring. If you read that just as religious offspring, you've missed the point. From the very beginning, the command was share this life with God, share it with each other, pass it along to others. When Jesus restores that relationship, he says, you're now my witnesses. You know what this life is. Be my witnesses in the power of the Holy Spirit. Go share this life. Be fruitful and multiply. May God bless you today. And as you share this good news, may God make your blessing wherever he takes you.